Okay.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to VO Academy Live with crazy hats and all that jazz. Hi,
For
Gabby.
Halloween. Hi. It's Halloween week, so I
I
thought
love your
I
hat.
would be a little silly with some headgear this
I
week because I'm
love
like,
it.
I'm not gonna do full costume, but
I
like,
love it. It's
thanks.
wonderful. It is good to see you and everyone else. Welcome. It is Monday,
For
right?
sure.
October 22nd.
Yup.
27th, excuse me.
27th. Yeah.
And we are literally right in the thick of it this week, right?
We are. We are. I mean, fall is in full effect here. I don't know about by you. I'm also trying to keep this hat and my headphones on at the same time, proving to be difficult, but I will prevail. Um, and like it's cold here and rainy and my goodness, it's Halloween is almost upon us and it's exciting times. I
It
saw my
really is.
first Christmas commercial over the weekend.
You did?
Yes. And I was
You were
aghast.
thinking of me?
I was
I knew you
aghast.
were.
I was like,
I've been starting to see all the Hallmark
I know.
stuff coming back up again
It
for
just
Christmas.
it
Although they do like
still
Christmas and summer, they're always
seems
doing Christmas.
it still seems so early. Like when we were kids, the holiday ads, the Christmas specific, right, didn't come out until like Thanksgiving weekend. And now, end of September, October, like they're in full swing. It's wild. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Oh, I love it though. I love it.
I
It makes me
know.
so happy. And then out my window, all of my trees are finally turning. They're like
Yeah,
brown
we've
and
been
orange, and leaves are falling everywhere. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, well, good for you. I've been
This is
fighting the leaves out of my gutters all weekend.
Oh yeah, well there yes. It's definitely a mess. But it's so exciting. And then of course the big thing, right, is the time it's been getting dark so early, right? And we've
Wow,
got I love it. I love everything about winter
you're
and
so
Christmas
cute.
time. I know it.
You're so
I
cute.
do just
Oh my
because
goodness.
Thanksgiving. So I've started, like, and then I get the baking thing. So like I bake a lot, so like I made homemade biscuits last night, and I made like gravy because I start baking. I love to bake and cook and stuff.
Anthony, oh,
Yeah,
look at you.
no, it's
This is
fun.
heartwarming. I had no idea you were into all that. That's so great.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
So yeah. So it's a lot of
goodness.
fun, and but yeah, my daughter and I love to. She likes to bake as well. Even though she does, it's funny. She loves to bake and make things. She doesn't enjoy eating. Like for example, we love bananas, so we get bananas. Like we make banana bread, but she
Yeah.
doesn't eat banana bread.
Oh,
But she loves banana. But she loves to make it. I think
fair,
we just like making stuff.
fair.
So
Listen, the Pika household like wins the prize
it's something.
for like wholesome Americana between you and your son and the
Oh, that's
football
hilarious.
and your
I
daughter and
wouldn't you say
baking
that.
banana bread. You guys are gross and I love you. I love you so much.
uh,
Oh my God. That is
well, we
amazing.
appreciate that. So anywho, with all of that being said, in the
Mhm.
holidays, it's a Halloween week, and Gabby and I thought we would talk about characters,
Mhm.
creating
Mhm.
characters, all types of different types of characters where we can use them. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's what we're doing. Make sure if you get a chance, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that
Yeah.
bell notification so that when we do go live, you get notified. It's pretty. We go live every noon,
We
so
do.
Monday to Friday.
We
But
do. But join us
it's
all
always
week for
nice to
my
get a
my
reminder.
ridiculous hat collection.
I'm so
It'll be fun.
excited. I'm so excited. So that means I've got to have something too. We'll figure out something here. So we'll both have something.
Yes.
But also, if you have a comment, say hello. Tell us where you're from in the chat, and as always, ask us any questions about
Yes.
voiceover. We are here, and we could possibly even use it for a whole episode.
Absolutely.
So,
And we love the questions. We love the interactions.
absolutely.
So bring them. Bring them.
All right, so
Mm.
characters. Where do
Hmm.
we start
Oh my
with
goodness.
talking about characters?
All right. You want to know my favorite place to start when it comes to character work?
Yes,
Pets.
pets.
Pets. Because I feel like even the people who say to me, they're like, I'm not a character person. I don't have any characters. I go, do you have a dog or a cat? And they go, yeah, or a fish. I don't care. A hamster, whatever. And they're like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, okay, do you talk to it differently than you talk to every other member of your household? And you will watch grown men, stoic grown men, turn shades of red,
Yes.
right? Because they do, because instantly there's that connection of like, yes, I anthropomorphize my dog or my cat, right? I make voices for them, or I talk to them silly. And it's like, bingo, that's a character. So even if you're sitting there going, I don't do characters, yes, you do. You do characters. We all do characters in some way, shape, or form.
That's actually really good because you're right. Most of us will have some sort of, funny voice we use or
My
something.
dogs and my animals they're so conditioned because they know mommy's goofy voices. So
Mhm.
anytime I want to get them riled up or excited or get their attention, I just have to do the goofy voices, and they just, it's like, because it's special, right?
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
special. We reserve it for them. And I think that they recognize that, and it's great. And it's a starting point. It can be a really, really fun place to begin a character journey. And didn't we just do this? We did we did a challenge at Via's
Yes.
journey with pet voices.
Yes, that's what we did. Yes, we
Mhm.
did a challenge basically, and you had to, come up with actually the voice that you think your pet would have.
Yes.
So we did that, like where you'd come up with the voice, and it was so interesting because first we had so many cool, but the thing
Right?
of it was though the characters were actually really good, and it's interesting because I find a lot of times when you're starting your journey of coming up with characters or doing different things, we're so concerned, I think about just maybe them,
Right?
not being good or how does it particularly sound or what's this and that, and you forget to let
Yes.
go. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And just have fun with it.
Mhm.
Like we did when we were little. And when we find a way to do that. So when you and it was interesting because the pet challenge kind of did that. The people just were it was interesting because I don't even know if they scripted. They might have. Oh, somebody here. But
Yeah.
even if they did it, I mean, like it was so natural. Like they all were very natural sounding. I mean, the character was. It wasn't.
Because the
Yeah.
irony of it is these are characters that people have intimate knowledge with already.
Mhm.
These are not voices they just made up for the challenge. They've probably been doing these for years and years and years.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of it. So and what you just said about childlike, right? And embracing, like, if you have young kids in the house, or you have nieces or nephews or grandkids or whatever, play with them.
Oh yeah.
Play.
Oh yeah.
Watch how many they make voices. They make goofy sound. Like, engage it. You would be amazed what comes out. And you would be amazed how many different things you
Mhm.
can come up with, right? I think it's
Oh yeah.
so important.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I totally agree, and I would say that that's it. So the next part of this, I think, is what you just said, and
mm,
that is play.
yeah.
I think as adults, the world tells us, no, you don't, that's not acceptable for you to be like that. And the reality is that's exactly what we need to do. It's just
We
be
edit.
open
Yes, we
to
edit
play, to have
ourselves
fun,
so
be
much as
silly.
adults,
Yeah.
and we forget that there's a big element of what we do in this industry that, yes, it requires playfulness, and it requires risking a bit of embarrassment. And the way I see it, and I love that we're choosing Halloween week for this, it's like, if you might be the most, again, stoic person out there, but if you've ever been to a Halloween party, right, and you've dressed in a costume, your comfort level is there because you're like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one, right? Most of these people are also in costumes. But now extract that, take yourself out of that party setting, and I don't know, walk into 7-Eleven dressed in costume, right? What happens? You end up telling people, oh, I'm going to a costume party. I'm going, right? I got a Halloween party.
This is it's such an interesting topic because
Mm-hmm.
you can also have the reverse, which I actually find that the majority of us fall into, especially when we're beginning into this
Mm.
bucket, which is most of us will be actually more comfortable having a different voice than we are even with our own voice. And you'll hear people like, why do I
Yeah.
feel, or you might have been that very person who asked, why is it when I do an accent, even if it's a poor accent, but why is it when I do
Mhm.
an accent or something, I just sound so much more interesting? The way I shape my words, the way I talk is more interesting. But when I talk
Right?
regular, I just feel awkward and it doesn't feel right. And you know, and I think it's a really interesting, I don't know, psychological look.
There's a showmanship piece. Look, I'm sure Freud had a plenty to say on this, right? Like, I'm sure we could go down that
Oh
dive,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, there's something very freeing about it. And the other thing that becomes great is when you can partner up or when you can do it in small groups. I had a friend who ran an improv troupe for a number of years, and so something that was very common, they used to do this, and I still to this day I can never not laugh about it. Anytime the troupe got together and they did something, they went to like a diner afterwards and they got food together, and they told the waitress somebody at the table was given a specific character type to stay in for the duration of the meal. It was a challenge that they did. And the deal was they put a stack of money on the table and they told the waitress that every time she disappoints the person in character, they were going to take money away from the stack, from her tip. Okay.
Okay.
And so really what they were doing was they were shoving the money under their plates.
Oh,
And so at the end of the night, the waitress got all the money anyway, and as a just for playing along with their bullshit.
right.
But it was hysterical to watch the interactions that took place then between the character and the server throughout the evening, and it gave them a prompt, and it was stuff like that is for what we do,
You,
it's so
oh yeah.
beneficial.
And you know
Yeah.
what I think it is too, actually? I think it boils down to decisions. Like when you're in a
Mm,
character or when you go that far, you don't really question. I mean, most part, especially when we're improving, what decision your character is going to make. Like if I'm being a pirate, like I don't like my pirate. I don't quite like it's he like he is who he is, like
right.
and he is a very like however he approaches everything, he's gonna be brash. It's gonna be he's a rough pipe. But sometimes when I first started, especially even as myself, it was hard because that wasn't always the case. The
Mhm,
decisions are
mhm.
not so cut and dry. So we're timid, I think, a lot.
I think it's also one of the reasons why it's easier to be funny as a
Mm,
character, because the character's perspective, right? The character's natural reaction to other things may be so abnormal or so different from what your own decision making might be that it results in something funny, even though you're really not necessarily trying to be funny. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's so many different avenues. And I think that the reality is any time you deviate from your natural voice pattern,
mhm.
your mannerisms, your pitch, right, your resonance, you potentially create a character. And in our line of work, that has the potential to make you money.
Exactly,
So you go
exactly.
with it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, a great way I think I mean, you kicked it off beautifully with talking about pets, but it can go even further, right? Using external stimuli to, um, I think, bring out ideas. So one thing I used to
Mm,
do, and it's still, for example, let's say you want to play, an old weathered down fisherman, right?
right.
And so if you go to Google and you type in old weathered down fisherman, it'll bring up, and you go to images, it will bring up
Mhm.
all these images.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, and I've done this for books that I narrated early on, especially trying to get an idea just in my head of what characters could possibly look like, because what I said was, when you see something, like,
Mhm.
all of us are pretty decent actually of, and I will admit, not it's not always nice the way we do it, but sometimes we are, all of us can, mimic, or,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, imitate sometimes, people or caricatures,
Right.
right? And I think, don't be afraid to lean in sometime on caricatures. So I think what happens with people is, you have characters, you have um, personalities, and you have caricatures. And caricatures are kind of like an over the top version,
Well, what
right,
you're
of
talking
a
about
character.
too is a character treatment, right?
Mhm.
Having an image or having a um, photograph or a picture or a rendering is giving you another dimension to the character to work with. And then, yes, leaning into caricatures and really imitating somebody, but in a very over exaggerated way, of course, leads to more depth for the character. So I love all of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And if you are needing to come up with, like, for example, multiple characters or variations
Mm,
for us, like you're doing a book or something like that, and there's multiple ones, that picture tip really helps, because
hmm.
it just gives you, and even if you, like, I put together a visual board, like you just what do you call it, a mood board, but it was
Yeah.
just basically, you can copy these pictures, put them on, a spreadsheet, or something, a little presentation. So now you have, like, the characters that you're doing, you know what they look like. It
Yep.
just gives depth. It starts to build something for, your
Yes.
background story,
Yes.
right?
I think something really important for new voice actors to understand is that no character voice that you have ever heard, right, was invented on the spot. Meaning, when you hear a cartoon, right, be it a classic cartoon or something very modern, you know, the character existed, or the voice, I should say, existed long before it was assigned to that specific character.
Mm,
And that is one of the reasons why the characters are so good. Nancy Cartwright talks a ton about
mm,
how when Bart Simpson, when she was first given a picture, right, of Bart Simpson as a character treatment for the audition, and she went in, she already had the voice.
right,
She just applied it to Bart, and then when they said,
right.
"Okay, he's brattier, right? He's just a little bit more rough around the edges," she knew exactly what to do. And that is so important. People think sometimes they see people like Bob Bergen or Dave Fennoy or some of these amazing character actors, and they think, and Tara Strong, and they think, "Oh, they're so skilled, they're just doing everything on the spot." No, they're not. They're not. These existed before. They've been working on these for years,
It's so funny
potentially.
you brought that up, because I can think of a lot of this stuff I did as a child, right? You know what I mean? A lot of these things were
Right?
things that, you're right. I mean, it's very rare that you come up with something that you don't have in your pocket
Mhm.
right off the bat. I
Yes.
mean, of course you can, but it takes time to just come up with something different. And then really, what's going to make it different, other than maybe you decide to add a different speech pattern
Yes.
or something. I mean, typically we've fooled around at this point, by, like, with our voice,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And if you haven't yet, that's where I always say, listen, you're already in a padded room. No one's gonna think less of you than they probably already do.
You're already in your own private
You're
little
already I mean, why
insane
not?
asylum.
Let's just have fun and enjoy it. Right? You know what I
It's
mean? Like, I would say,
true.
what is dad doing in there? Why is he screaming? I come out sometimes, you know what? I love the voiceovers, Gabe. I don't know if you do this. I love the voiceovers where I do, and I'm in there and I'm doing, like, right. And I come out
Yes!
and I'm like, I get paid to do this. And I laugh, or I come out laughing because, and I know my family's thinking, God, our dad's nuts. But
But
like,
yes,
it's fun,
the
right? It's
things that
fun.
make other people in the household go, "Are you okay?" Those are the best. Those are the
Oh,
absolute best. And that's it. But we practice it. We hone it
yes.
ahead of time.
Mhm.
And so I want people to really realize that it's not as on the fly as we make it seem sometimes. So
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
know that. And there is an art and a process to really getting to know your character. Um, I think all of the greats, I mean, how could we not, mention Mel Blanc, right?
Mm.
He could
Mm.
live as any of his characters,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Well, think
permanently
of
if
Mark
he
Hamill.
had to.
I mean, think of
Right.
Mark Hamill. I mean,
Same.
like, where would
Yeah.
you have thought the guy who, did that character as Luke and then comes out, he's the Joker and
Joker.
all these, I mean, right? Like,
Yeah, I hate that Jim Henson has never given enough attention in this category.
mm,
We always think of Jim Henson as a
my gosh.
puppeteer,
Right.
right? And we think of him as the inventor, but he was the voice. Jim Henson brought he was my childhood,
Well,
you
if you think
know?
about how powerful that was, because those
Oh,
characters, the voice, it never even dawned probably on so many kids or anyone else at the time, right? Those were people. I
yes.
mean, they were so embodied in the
Yes.
characters, and they were so good that we figured those are those. We think of Miss Piggy. We think that's Miss Piggy. We don't think of who's the voice actor who did Miss Piggy.
Anthony, Anthony, I gotta tell you something. I have
Yes.
Miss Piggy's autograph.
Do you
I have Miss
really?
Piggy's autograph because when I was a child, I was so obsessed with the Muppets. I wrote to them
Did
back
you?
when that was like a thing, right? There were
Uh-huh. Yeah,
fan
yeah,
clubs.
yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I wrote a letter to Miss Piggy and she sent me back a signed
No.
photo. Yes. And it's like, I have no idea who signed that. I have no foggy concept, right? Like, who the hell, whose job was it, right, to sign Miss Piggy's
How
fan mail?
wonderful is that, though?
But I cherish that, and it's so, like, right? It's an amazing little piece of history and that love, and
It is.
yes, I mean,
I
that's
mean, Miss
because as a
Piggy,
kid,
Kermit, those two, they're amazing,
but it's just,
but yeah.
like, the same way kids believe in Santa Claus, right?
Mhm.
We have no concept. I do still have it, Ben, I do. It's so I have, like, I really need to bring it out
I
and
was
get
gonna
it
say, you
framed or
should frame
something.
that
I
thing.
know, I really need to. I have, like, these weird archives of, like, a lot of it goes back to my radio days too, of, like, autographs that I just have in storage because I don't want
Mhm.
anything to happen to them, and I really need to frame some of them.
Oh, yeah, oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, I will dig it out. But yeah, like, so anyway, yeah, it's stuff like that that I think is what we need to start to embrace and really get in touch with the play. Um, and then we can start to, as this week progresses, right? We can talk more about some of the subtleties and the little intricacies of the art form. Um, Goodness, how did it already go by?
No,
Where
yeah.
did the time how did we get here? We're
Well,
23 minutes in. My
no,
goodness.
I know, and I was thinking, because some of the most famous things too, like, what was his name? The who did, yeah, Peter Cullen, right?
Oh,
For
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
when he went in, like, when he went in to do that, and he tells the story, right?
oh
You
my
know, the story
god.
that, like, he didn't create that he already had that voice. Do you know what I mean? It was in his mind. He talked about,
Mhm.
right, like, how that particular character would behave, would
But
act.
what I didn't know until years later was he was also the voice of the Predator.
Yes,
He
yes,
did all
isn't
the
that?
clicks and sound, and I was like, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Peter
Oh,
Cullen,
yeah.
powerhouse, like, seriously, in Peter Cullen we trust. I love him.
Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
Well, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. I think this is really exciting. I think as we go, like, maybe tomorrow and stuff, we can, I
I
don't
have a
know,
silly
even,
question. Are we
yes.
going live tomorrow or
Oh,
are
thank
we
you so
yeah,
much.
it's
Yes,
Tuesday.
okay, good point.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
tomorrow we will not be going live because we are making sure that everyone watches Angela tomorrow, Angela Olfest. And as Angela's, one of our amazing coaches over at VOJ.
All part of the
So
same
yes,
family.
we're all part of the same family,
Yeah.
and it's a great time. So we won't be live tomorrow. We'll be watching her, and
She
then
does a once weekly, right? She
Yes,
just
yes,
does
once a week, just
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
So we're
Tuesdays.
like,
So
you
it's
know
kind of
what?
silly to go live when
Yeah.
she's going live.
No need
So
to compete. Yep.
yeah. So we will come back on Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
and go dive deeper into making characters and
Love it.
stuff like that. All right.
Love
Well, thank
it.
you guys so much. We'll see you Wednesday. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.